Big buzz around encryption since the GDPR regulations came in. We've been told that any files that have personally identifiable information should be encrypted. So if you're dealing with student work or information, then nearly everything you have falls into that category. So most schools will have kind of cloud platforms and solutions around this, but there may be a reason why you need to carry some confidential student data on your laptop or desktop, and you need to encrypt it. So a lot of people have heard about encryption, but maybe not 100% sure on how to actually do it. This isn't an explainer about encryption itself. Encryption is a method of protecting your data. If you want to know more, look it up. This is how you actually go about encrypting the files. So I'm going to use a tool called Veracrypt. There's one built into Windows called BitLocker, but Veracrypt I'm doing because you can use it across Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. Works on everything. You download it. It's a free piece of software. And we're going to run Veracrypt. And so you have a few options with encryption. You can encrypt an entire drive or an entire disk. But the model I'm looking at now, which is a bit more straightforward if you're starting out, is just encrypting what's called a volume. So be careful not to try and encrypt your entire disk with this, or if it goes wrong, you could be locked out. So I loaded up Veracrypt. This is the initial screen. I'm going to create a volume. So just use the default settings. Next, standard Veracrypt. The hidden one's interesting. With the hidden one, you have two passwords, one that leads you into your actual files and a second password that leads you into some dummy files you can put in there. So if you're ever kidnapped or anything exciting like that, you can give them the password to the outer container, which will have the dummy files, not the inner one with your actual files that you want to protect. So first thing we've got to do, give our files a name. So I'm going to call it my private files. So that's my container name. And when I hit next, it's going to ask me about the type of encryption I want to use. Just leave it on the default. You can research it if you want. I'm going to make it 1 gigabyte of in terms of size. So you have to decide on the size you want the container. I'm going to hit next. Now I'm going to give it the password. I'm just going to give it a basic password, so it'll give out to me that my password is too basic, but yeah, it's going to yes. So when it's getting ready to encrypt, if you actually require to move your mouse around to feed the random pool, but yeah, so if you keep moving around till it's green, that's probably the sweet spot. Don't worry about this. You can. There's a reason for it, but I'm not going to go into it now. Hit format then, and that's it. You have created a encrypted container. So where did I actually create it now? Is in my files here. I'll just throw it onto my desktop there. So the neat thing about the containers is you can move them around. You can move them onto USB key, etc. Or you could send them to someone, and without the encryption key, they cannot be accessed. So how do you then access this container? So I'm going to select the drive letter, and I'm going to select my container file, and I'm going to hit mount. It's going to ask me for my password, which I'm going to enter, and it takes a few seconds, but it will mount my encrypted volume into my A drive. So how do I access it? Just go into File Manager, and just like any other drive, you'll see it appear here. So I can create files and move them in there. You'll see text document, delete it from here. So my text document is now in my encrypted container. And when I click select it, I can dismount all or just dismount this one. My container is now dismounted. If someone gets into my PC and gets to this file, it's no good to them. They cannot open it, and I can put multiple files into that container, and I can even move it around or send it to someone, and it's completely protected. So that's encryption. Very useful for, like I say, in education, other settings, and it's not as scary as it sounds. As some people think it's something that's massively complicated, but hopefully, as you can see there, it's something you can get up and running very quickly and easily.